All right, I guess I'm live. I'm Dr. Kate Walker. Welcome to the Thursday 30 Friday edition. I'm so happy that you're all here because you need to be here. And I wrote this down, I'm doing a sabbatical. I do this every year. Try to get my message clear. I try to get my head clear. It's so important that we do this all the time. So I took a minute and I wrote down my message. You and I, we exist to keep your story alive. Badass Businesses, Texas counselors creating badass businesses here to keep your story alive, keep you doing your job, keep your practice open. Because why? You're too important to lose to things like giving up, going broke, going out of business, and not knowing the rules. Because your community counts on you. You're too important to lose. Hashtag counselors don't quit. All right, so that's why Texas Counselors Creating Badass Businesses is here, right? We're here so that you succeed. We're not going to sell you a bunch of shit. We've got free mentors. You saw that when you signed up in the group. So let's welcome our new badasses. This is my favorite part anyway. We have 6 new badasses this week. We've got Christina Hales. And oh my gosh, I love this name. Ready? You Can Too Professional Counseling Services, PLLC. We have Carrie Lee. We have Keelan Muth, Candace Smith, and Lauren Gastarf. Welcome to Texas Counselors Creating Badass Businesses. We're going to help you get into business, stay in business, keep doing the business that you love. And today is a pretty cool day. All through the month of July and August, we're doing a 10-week practice challenge. A 10-week practice challenge. That's a lot of stuff. My daughter and I, she's my helper, right, Ridgely, and a lot of you have contact with her if you call or email KW Training IT, right? You're emailing Ridgely. And she helped me come up with the challenges for each week. So week 1, you shared your story because your story is your power. You submitted a 1-page story to kwtrainingit@gmail.com and you were entered to win what? A $500 practice grant. And not only that, I want to be really clear. We're going to take another $500 and we're going to chop it up and give it away too. If you can participate all 10 weeks. That's the deal breaker. You have to stick with me. You have to stay involved all 10 weeks, and then you're eligible to receive the practice grant, the single $500 practice grant, and the smaller practice grants. So you can buy that software you've been looking at. So you can pay that web designer and quit designing your own website. So you can pay a graphic artist to design your logo. So you can get some kick-ass headshots. All the things that you need to create your best practice. Week 2, we talked about doing it right the first time because nobody does it right the first time. And I revealed that my first name for my practice was All About the Family, LLC, and then I changed it to achievebalance.org. Go find the thread week 2. Tell us what you started out with. You didn't get it right the first time, and that's okay. Week 3 this week is all about mistakes, and today I've got some things I'm going to talk about. We have the preliminary results, just the bare minimum results of a brand new supervisor rating system. Y'all, we knew this was coming, right? If you own a business, you're going to get Google reviewed. So we talk about this. Go to my YouTube channel and you'll see we talk about Google reviews, how to get them, what to do if you get a bad one. Today we're talking about if you're doing fabulous, which so many of us are. I'll talk about that. But let's say you're not doing so fabulous, how to fix that. And I'll talk about some mistakes that I've made, because really a Thursday 30 wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about how I've screwed up, right? So next week, week 4, we're going to talk about the therapeutic use of money. That includes what to charge, how to make sure you get paid. Week 5, manage your time. Week 6, achieve balance. Week 7, tools of the trade. We'll talk about specific paperwork and systems that our members use to kick ass in business. Week 8 is just for you folks planning to go into private practice or already in private practice. We call it a private practice primer. Week 9, insurance telehealth and cash payments. Oh my, what do we do? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll do that week 9. And week 10, I'm going to surprise you with some experts who are going to tell you how they do it. So you're not listening to me keep yapping for 10 weeks, right? There are so many badasses in this group. And if you're interested in having a private practice, you're in the right place. We are literally the best source of information for graduate students, new practice owners, established practice owners, supervisors, all the mental health professionals in Texas, because it's not just me. We're a community. We support one another. We're not snarky. We're not playing gotcha games. We're not trying to sneak up and get you in trouble. We're here to create a safe space so you can get your shit together and have the best practice you possibly can. All right, so hi, my name is Kate, and I make mistakes. Literally, when I was a kiddo, they called me Late Kate. I had a little issue with ADD, and as I got older, I do, and I still do this, I call it, and I didn't make it up, ready, fire, aim. All right, so you can imagine what that means. Ready, fire, aim. I jump in, I do things, then I course correct later. I've actually made a pretty good living out of this because I help people who've made mistakes. I'm a counselor. I see marriages and families, and I also consult with folks like you to help you get your practices up and running and better. And most importantly, I train supervisors. Now, supervisors are folks who've been in practice for at least 5 years. They've taken a 40-hour training, hopefully it was mine, and they're training new supervisors to become their colleagues. Sorry, let me say that again. They're training new counselors, not supervisors, to become their colleagues. That's what we do as a supervisor. We're growing our own colleagues. Well, that doesn't work real well if we're pissing people off. Now, we have an obligation to be gatekeepers in the profession. We take that very seriously. If you're an LPC or an LMFT associate, or if you're a social worker associate or a psychology associate, you're not doing your job, you're being unethical. Our job is to make sure we train you so that you can do your job, remediate you so you're forced to do your job, or terminate you. So if you're going to go do your job, you're not going to do it under us, right? That's our job, is to keep you safe, but primarily to keep the client safe. We're here to gatekeep the profession. So when we're doing a fabulous job, it works. We grow our own colleagues. We fill those gaps in mental health out in rural West Texas. That's hard to say. Say that 10 times. But when we don't do it right, it doesn't go well. The mistakes I've made, I have done unfair fee splitting with my associates. I have charged for practice stuff in addition to supervision. I've done 1099s when I shouldn't have done 1099s. All of that in the past while I was supervising. It wasn't okay. As I learned, as I grew, as I knew more, I did better, right? What they say, when you know more, do better. I changed things. I hired an administrator, so I was out of the dual role. I did W-2s. Actually, I got rid of payments completely, and I gave away my supervision, zero cost. I did some things where I completely dismantled my big practice and got rid of the fee splitting. And I actually got to a place where I was renting, so people were paying me. So I did some things for my business, but I had to change it all along the way because I was making mistakes. It wasn't fair. I wasn't doing fair business practices. And how did I know? Well, I wouldn't have known unless I asked questions. I joined organizations like the Chamber of Commerce. I got involved with Texas Counseling Association. I hired a business coach. I talked to people who'd been in business longer than I, and I found out I was doing it wrong. So if you hear that there's a rating system out there and it's targeting you, well, guess what? You've just joined the ranks of the finest restaurants and businesses in the world. Everybody gets rated. Have you heard of Michelin stars? Right? How would you like to find out that you were rated so highly and recommended so highly that you're going to have to turn supervisees away. How would you like to hear that you have done an amazing job growing your interns into colleagues, right? And that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a lot of fear about this review system. But what about the good news? Like I said, I don't have details, I don't have names, I don't have emails, I don't have any of that. But let me just share some of the results that I'm hearing. 78% of respondents would recommend their supervisor. 78%. Let's see, let me get to my data here. I love data. Sorry, I should have hold music. I'm still here. 88% of you provide at least 4 hours of supervision a month, with at least 2 of those hours being individual supervision hours. 88% of you are available when there's an emergency or need to staff a case outside of supervision hours. 78% of you are prepared for supervision. You provide guidance and support consistently. 59% of you help your supervisees learn about private practice. 81% of you are teaching your supervisees about BHEC rules. Here are some of the comments. Supportive and respectful of associate status. Willing to share mistakes, both past and present, as learning opportunities. Available for emergencies. Another one, amazing supervisor. Able to help me effectively with cases and educate me on topics. Here's another one. I've always felt supported by my supervisor. She's humble, and she doesn't act like she's better than I am because of her status or experience. Here's another one. She's truly amazing. So smart and knowledgeable, knows the market very well. We're going to have some amazing reviews out here, but that's not what this Facebook Live's about. This Thursday 30 on a Friday is about mistakes. There are some screw-ups happening, right? Don't worry. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a terrible supervisor, right? That's what this group is for. If you're a supervisor and you're in Texas Supervisor Training, you are in the best place in the state to get supportive information readily when it happens, as it's happening. We have counselor educators, we have advocates, we have LPC board members, we have LMFT board members in this group constantly giving information, so that it's almost like this warm fuzzy blanket around all of us in Texas Supervisor Training. It's not just LPCs, it's not just LMFTs, it's not just social workers and psychologists, it's all of us, right? Because we have one job, people, one job. We have to grow more colleagues to fill gaps in rural Texas. So here's the screw ups. You know, this one's about mistakes. Folks, supervisors, be on time. Be on time. One of the complaints, not complaints, because I feel like when I say complaint, everybody's like, it's a board complaint. No. One of the negative reviews is my supervisor is not on time. I've just confessed, man, I am stuck in a wormhole up here in Maine. It's a beautiful wormhole, but I have no idea what day it is, time it is, anything like that. I am time challenged. But I got to fix that if I'm going to supervise. I have to be on time. If Rachel was on here right now, she'd say, Kate, you're never on time. Exactly. If this was a review about me, it may be. I don't know. Like I said, I don't see names. Be on time. Supervisors, be prepared. Be prepared. Now, we know our Supervisees developmentally need our guidance. We have to be teachers, put on our teacher hat. Level 1 supervisees need that. Level 2 supervisees, they're like, oh my gosh, do I like this career? Yeah, everybody's mean. I don't think I want to do this, so we have to kind of put on our counseling hat. Level 3 supervisees, we're kind of laissez-faire, right? We're like, hey, what do you want to do today? So take that one with a grain of salt. If you don't have an agenda every single time for your level 3, well, maybe that's what you're preparing them for. But for your level 1s and 2s, y'all, be prepared. Have an agenda. Help your supervisee know what it is that you want them to do. Number 3, y'all, teach the rules. It's not enough just to say you know them. Teach the rules. Get in there every single time. It says in the rules, we're supposed to teach the rules. One of the reviews is, I don't think my supervisor knows the rules. Now, a lot of us supervisors, we know our supervisees talk to each other, right? They talk and they say, okay, what did you hear? Well, what did you hear? Do you know if this is right? Well, I don't know if that's right. Is there a rule about that? I don't know. Well, then there are organizations, Texas LPC Associates, that's getting good. These organizations are getting great information out there. Texas Counseling Association, Texas Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. They're getting the information out there. So supervisors, get into a group, join a professional organization, go to the BHEC website and hit print and get the freaking PDF in your hand if you're a paper person, or get a little workbook on your desktop if you're not, but read the rules, know the rules. Stay tuned. Early 2022, we'll probably see new rules that will significantly change how we supervise and do business. Finally, last but not least, treat your trainings as if they were another referral for a therapist. I'll give you an example. If you were going to take a client and you were going to say, hey, I've got to move you on to a different counselor, you would offer that client 3 referrals, right? If you were in an agency and somebody said, I love you so much, I want to come to your private practice, you would say, oh, thank you so much for that. Here are 3 referrals. If you'd like to include me on that, awesome. But ethically, I can't just refer me. I got to give you a choice. Supervisors, if you offer trainings, I'm literally looking in the mirror right now. I can see my face. I'm talking to me. All right. If you offer trainings, please be sure that you offer your supervisees a choice. Offer yours and 2 more. There are tons of people offering great trainings out there. I happen to think Kate Walker Training's the best, but I'm a little biased, but I'm still going to offer other trainings. Even trainings I personally didn't like, because I need my supervisee to become a consumer. They need to be able to critically think and decide for themselves as they become a professional which trainings they're going to be loyal to, which ones that they're going to trust, right? You and I know, we know not all trainings are created equally, right? We know that a lot of trainings aren't up to snuff. And my gosh, if you're making your training, I'm going to say this 2 ways. If you're requiring your training, okay, that's a problem. But if you're requiring your training and it costs thousands of dollars, that's not okay. That is really not okay. All right. And not only do I say that, apparently it's an issue. So 4 things: be on time, be prepared, teach the rules, and don't push your own trainings. But I want to leave this on a high note. Literally 78% of respondents so far would recommend you supervisors. You're doing a fabulous job. This is going to be public. Graduate students will be able to grab this link. They can go to the Kate Walker Training website and see a list of over 100 supervisors. They can use this link to pick out the ones that they like, and they can interview, and it's going to create an amazing atmosphere. I'm talking to you graduate students, where you can pick the best supervisor, right? If they don't work out, guess what? You're going to get trained on how to pick the supervisor that fits your needs. You know, it's just like going to school, right? Rate my professor. You want a professor that assigns no homework, gives everybody an A, and just kind of hands you a piece of paper at the end? well, you're not going to be a great counselor anyway. You see, I mixed my metaphor there, but you get the idea. You want a supervisor who's going to challenge you, who's going to grow you, who's going to evaluate you, who's going to remediate you, and who's going to eventually sign off on those hours and then go have a beer with you later because now you're colleagues. That's what you're looking for, okay? So let's recap. This is week 3 of our practice challenge. Remember, you can only be eligible to receive the single $500 practice grant or the mini grants if you participate all 10 weeks. You must participate all 10 weeks. The hardest one was week 1. You had to email your one-page story to kwtrainingit@gmail.com. Tell us why you got into the business. Then go into Badass Businesses, Texas Counselors Creating Badass Businesses. Find the week 2 thread. Find the week 3 thread. This week we want to know a procedural mistake that you made and you fixed. Don't get personal. Don't tell things you don't want to share, but let us know. Let's get vulnerable. Test me on this, folks. Test your fellow badasses. We are not going to snark you. If somebody snarks you, I'm booting them out of the group. We're going to support you. We're going to clap for you because you came to the group and admitted and I'm sounding a little too 12-steppy, but you get the idea. We're here for you. So week 3 is all about your mistakes and how you fixed them. I am in a timey-wimey wormhole, so I have to get ready for a client. I never see clients on Friday, but apparently today I do. So it's been great talking to you. Next week, we may be on Friday again. It just depends on which wormhole I'm in. Like I said, it's a beautiful one. I plan to go hiking today in it. It's wonderful. Freiburg, Maine. Highly recommend it. You guys are awesome. Tell your friends about Badass Businesses, Texas Counselors Creating Badass Businesses. Tell your supervisors about Texas Supervisor Training, and keep doing good work because remember, I got to get my hands free. # counselors don't quit. This is Dr. Kate Walker. Have a great day.